Hello everyone, and today we're going to be talking about Rise of Quetzal Total War. Now this is a pretty new mod for Medieval 2 Total War, and Medieval 2 is of course a pretty old game at this point. It's about, I believe next year it's going to be the 20th anniversary of the game, but the mod community still labors on. As Billy Idol mentions in his critically acclaimed album, Cyberpunk from the early 90s, love labors on. Now, Rise of Quetzal is a mod about the pre-Hispanic Mexican historical period around the rise of the Aztecs. So, Spain is included in the game as a sort of late game challenge, but it is not about the conquest. So if you want that, you can go play the Americas campaign in Kingdoms, which, I haven't really done actually myself. I was never a huge fan of the Kingdoms campaigns, but this mod is a very in-depth look at the sort of very intense period of warfare here that marked the rise of the Aztec Empire. You can see they start out with a fairly small amount of territory here in the center of everything, and then you have the option to play as several different coalitions, mostly kingdoms, coalitions, city-states. So here in the Yucatan, you have access to some Mayan city-state kingdoms, like Cupul, Tutul, Xiu, Huaymil. The place surrounded by reeds sounds like Sumer. I wish someone would make a Sumerian campaign. Anyway, and then you have the Lencas here, so descendants of the Olmecs, which sounds good indeed. And then the most northern faction are the Chichimecs. Very, very nice campaign setup here. So let's start a campaign as, I believe, Chichen Itza here. And I will show off the campaign map, show off some battles, some units, and yeah. All right, so here we are in the campaign map as Chichen Itza, capital of the Cupul. And I want to show off some of the buildings here. So it's pretty vanilla in terms of what buildings you can construct. The buildings seem fairly vanilla. A lot of things come from the Americas campaign as well, but some of the bonuses and things have been adjusted for the mod. Other than that, units. There are a ton of new units in this mod. So, and these units are very well done indeed. And that, I think, is the highlight of the mod. So you have all of these different factions, and let's reveal the map to show you everything. So it's quite a large map. I believe this is much larger than the Americas campaign map. And all of these factions, even factions as remote here as the Lenca, have very unique unit rosters and full rosters. Like it's very well done indeed. So when we go to recruitment, like I haven't even constructed all the buildings, right? But I still have a ton of different units to recruit. So Yucatec Temple Guards, Pokatok Skirmishers. I'm going to pronounce these pretty badly. Nakhom Archers. It's very nice indeed. Now, Spain here has a colony in Cuba, but other than that, they are a sort of late game scripted challenge. So you cannot play as them, and they are not the focus of the mod. The focus is uniting Mexico, or conquering all the other tribes and kingdoms here, and creating your own empire prior to the arrival of the Spanish Empire. So let's get into a battle here and show off some of these units. All right, so here we are in battle as Kupul, Chichen Itza. So we have our general here who's looking great. And our Yucatec bodyguards, very nice looking units indeed. I like their helmets, or headdress, and masks too. Frightening. Intimidating. And we have our Holcates infantry, looking good indeed. And you know, everything has been used to the fullest, like shield, unit variation, all of that is done very well in this mod. Very colorful shields, the little banners that they carry on their backs kind of reminds me of, you know, Shogun 2 and the banners they had. Nakom archers, looking very nice indeed. What else do we have? Different types of archers. And you know, this is a mod that was pretty necessary because I don't think there has been such an effort put into the Americas campaign by any modder prior to this. So kudos to the makers of Rise of Quetzal. Very nice job indeed. Very nice job indeed. These priests look kind of scary. I mean, they look ready for battle. So let's get into a battle here. We're fighting with another Mayan kingdom, Ekab. Let's take a look at them. And they have a very different look, right? So actually, the mod maker really did a lot of research in terms of like observations and the different tactics of the different city-states and peoples, and just did a marvelous job in terms of variation and making every faction feel unique. Like it's not, you know, like when I did Chivalry Remastered, I copied a lot of factions. A lot of factions are basically copy pastes of each other because, you know, they're very similar or the cultures are the same. So, you know, that was just what I could do. And, you know, their militaries had similar structures to each other. And a lot of factions are the same culture, but you don't get that same experience here. Like every faction is very unique. They have their own unit rosters, their own designs. It's very well done indeed. Oh, I like this this head shield. That won't help you from the front though. Okay, so our archers are going to start firing. So let's get our troops in there and see if we can flank. Hive throwers. That's the unit we've been waiting for. They don't seem to have very much hornet protection in terms of, you know, not getting stung. Let's see them chuck those hives. Well, they didn't throw them. Yeah, they're getting roasted. So what other game exists where you have soldiers that toss beehives at you? It doesn't exist. And that's why historical Total War is great. I miss Medieval 2 AI. Anyway, yeah, the hive throwers are done, which is good. So let's see if we can... Those slingers are bothering me. But I think it might be best... Oh, they ran. Perfect. Well, my guys are so intimidating. Okay. So our archers are firing on them. Now let's flank and see if we can cause a rout here. I like how, it seems to me that the mod maker made the speed of the game a little bit ticked up because, I don't know, it just seems to be a little more fluid than Medieval 2 Vanilla. Maybe I just haven't played Medieval 2 in a while. Okay, that's good. Okay, we got some routers there. Oh, our priests are not in battle. The priests defeated their opponents. So let's get those guys. So our other infantry... Yeah, let's get our priests into flank. And let's flank with our Holcates infantry too. Knock home spearmen. Let's get them to chase the archer militia. Okay, and it seems like we're causing a mass rout. Very nice indeed. I like the faction symbols as well. Okay. Yeah, two-handed weapon bug doesn't seem to be a problem. He just got slapped with that ore. Okay, it's not an ore. It just looked like one. It looked a little flat there. Maybe it is an ore. Pre-Columbian Aztec warfare is not my area of expertise. But the Olmec heads are some of my favorite artifacts. Okay, very good. Actually, the Olmec were... So when I first started modding in the year 2005 or 6, the Olmec, I think, was one of the first factions I added to Civilization 4. So I added the Olmec and then Pontus as well to Civilization 4. So just something to know. Yeah, the priests of Chak are pretty insane. Yeah, they just ran through those guys and they died. Amazing. Well, that's what happens when you don't wear enough armor. You flee in terror. Yeah, our faction has good armor and protection. Nice big shields. But we both have Yucatec bodyguards. All right, so does the enemy have any units that aren't routing? They seem to all be routing. But in any case, that's pretty much everything I wanted to show about the mod. So the campaign map looks great. It's a very... it seems to be sort of vanilla style in terms of the battles, and there's nothing wrong with that. Faster paced than a lot of other mods. I I really like the amount of research and care that went into all these unit rosters. I I appreciate the time period and the fact that a mod has been made about this period where I think that we were pretty much bereft of anything except for the Americas campaign, and this, of course, is much more detailed and better. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. If you enjoy videos about the historical Total Wars and their mods, consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and download this mod. I'll put a link in the description below. Anyway, have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.